life's a journey. Life throws things at you, and it's an exciting journey if you take the opportunities that are offered to you. And this country continually gives you opportunities. So 20 years ago, I'd traveled around the world for a couple of years, came back in my 30s, and obviously signed on. I was unemployed, and it was like, right, what's the next stage of my life? And a leaflet came through the door from Manchester Council. Do you want a job in regeneration of East Manchester? That's where the City Stadium, the Manchester City Stadium is. They had millions to spend. I applied, got a job working for Manchester Council, and that led me into working with young people, stopping them getting involved in crime and causing antisocial behaviour. And I would say that's where my career began in my mid-30s. And then from there, I got promoted. And then from there, I ended up running Manchester City Centre for the council in terms of reducing crime and antisocial behaviour. And I was good at it. And then austerity kicked in 2011. My whole team was made redundant. So I took redundancy and said, you know what, I'm going to set a charity up to carry on this work. And I'm going to do it better, because you're hampered working for a council. There's that much red tape, there's that much incompetence. You've got your hands tied behind your back all the time. So I invested my money and set a charity up to carry on working on the streets with kids, to try to show a better way of life, to try to show them where the opportunities are in this country. If 100,000 immigrants can come into this country every year, and most of them get opportunities and make a success of their life, and good for them, then why aren't the kids who are born in this country not taking those opportunities? And the simpler answer is, we don't train our kids to spot those opportunities. We train our kids to be lazy, to be apathetic, to sign on, to criticize this country. That's what we train our kids to do. So I've been changing that on the streets for 2 decades. And the charity I set up is a multi-award winning now. We've won the national awards, regional awards, awards off the police, awards off government. The charity is absolutely fantastic. It's groundbreaking, because we do the work nobody else wants to do, because it's not sexy. It's hard work, and we have more failures than we have successes. And then 3 years ago, during lockdown, I'm working 10 hours a week, just keeping the charity ticking over. All my staff are on furlough. And I thought, I started writing blogs, more blogs than I usually write. So I wrote a blog about Black Lives Matter, because they'd just come to national attention, and they just had a mostly peaceful demonstration in London where 27 police officers needed hospital treatment. That's how peaceful that peaceful protest was. So I wrote a blog, not exposing Black Lives Matter, but just talking about their website, all the information they had on their official website. Not a conspiracy theory website, not a right-wing website, but their own website. And I talked about how they want to defund the police, how they want to overthrow Western capitalism. And the phrase that upset me the most was, we want to disrupt the Western nuclear family. And I had to give that some thought. It's like, what the hell does that mean? I've not been to university. I'm not an academic. Disrupts the Western nuclear family. And all I could come up with was, they want to remove more fathers out of the home. And that's when I went, not on my watch, mate. That's the biggest problem we've got in the UK, is a lack of fathers in the home. So I wrote a 700-word blog on their website. I didn't post it on their website, but it was about their website. Put it on my LinkedIn. For the first few days, first week, it was fine. Some people commented, some people disagreed with me, some people agreed with me. Hey, but that's what happens when you post a blog. And then someone copied the link and put it on Twitter. And then it went mental. Within hours, I was accused of being a Nazi and a racist. A volunteer at the charity resigned and wrote to the board via email saying Nick's a Nazi. The board panicked. Somebody online set up a petition to have me fired from my own charity. That got 450 signatures, which isn't a lot, but believe me, at the time, that sounded like the world. It was like the world's against me. Maybe I've done something wrong here. The board panicked, and the board sacked me over email, a one-line email. Nick, you're terminated immediately. And that was it. My life was over. It was like, what am I going to do? And the first week, I felt sorry for myself because, when that's natural, I'm human. I succumb to these weak feelings like we all can do. And after the first week, I decided, no, I'm not having this. I'm now Nick the Nazi. My life's over. 6 months before, I'd just been awarded an MBE of our late Queen. It's like I've gone from an MBE to a Nazi in 6 months. That can't be right. So I'm out with a fight back, got help from the Mail on Sunday and the Free Speech Union, who are fantastic. And we looked at my contract and looked at what I said, and the solicitor involved said, there's no case to answer it. We wrote to the Board of Trustees, who were all personal friends of mine, by the way. I'd known them all over a decade. We wrote to them and we said, this is not on, and Nick Buckley is going to sue you all independently and personally unless you all resign en masse. That's the only way you're going to get out of a legal action. Within 18 hours of them getting that email, they all resigned. And the reason why they resigned is they didn't have skin in the game. They didn't care about me. They didn't care about the charity. They didn't care about the young people on the streets. They didn't care about the girls I've stopped being raped. They didn't care about any of that. What did they care about? They cared about themselves. And suddenly they had skin in the game. Nick's going to sue me. I could lose my house. So they all just resigned. They were cowards. And that was the most upsetting bit about this, is they went through this and I went through this for nothing. If they'd have spoken to me, we could have got through this together, because I beat the mob online and they should have known I'd have beat the mob. They should have known I'd beat them. They've known me decades. I'm not a weak person. So it was all for nothing. So they resigned. I came back to the charity. And I didn't win. If people say you won, Nick, I didn't win. It was horrendous. I lost friends. I had to evaluate my life. I'm a different person than I was then. My life's different to what it was then. I'm glad it happened because I have no regrets. I never do regrets. What's the point of regrets? You can't change anything. You don't have a time machine. You have to learn from what's happened, try to not make the same mistakes, but then try to find the opportunities in that new situation. And I found those opportunities. I'd like to think I have anyway. So in a nutshell, that's probably why I'm here today. That's why I'm running for mayor. And that's why you two gents are speaking to me.